All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this awesome planet. Welcome to the Inner Circle Live pre-New York session. I'm your host for this morning's session, Benny Allen, and I'm definitely happy and grateful for each and every one of you being here with me this morning as we take a look at the technicals and the fundamentals in the Forex market to see what's out there for us to take advantage of. So, without further ado, let's make sure that we turn off any and all distractions, grab a pen and paper, take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we continue to do an amazing job of participating and engaging. That is how we learn. Don't sit silent. If you don't want to take your microphone off mute to ask a question, make sure that you put it in the chat. That's what we are here for. So if everybody can hear me loud and clear, drop me a 1 in the chat so we can get this session started. All right, let's go, let's go. So let me jump out of here and close out, and we'll go straight to the calendar because today, right, the 27th, we have rate statement coming out for the euro at 8.15. Okay, expected 75 basis points to hike raise to 2%. And then again, it's going to be all about what's being said afterwards. We see that the market is already pricing in that 75 basis points on the euro, as we see that it has had some bullish momentum as of late. But we'll see what they say going forward in regards to quantitative tightening. See if they take up that subject in the press conference, which starts at 8:45. We will see what President Lagarde has to say. 8:30. Big report, right? Advanced GDP, right? Q over Q, quarter over quarter. So for the United States, so it's going to be interesting to see what that comes out in regards to our GDP. All right. So for those of you who aren't familiar with that report, okay, Q over Q data is reported in an annualized format. Quarterly change times 4. There are 3 versions of the GDP released a month apart: advanced, preliminary, and final. Advanced release is the earliest and thus tends to have the most impact. Okay, so we'll see actually greater. The forecast is good for the currency. All right, so we're expected to come in at 2.3. So we'll see if it comes in right at target or if it comes in over or below. That could be a market mover for the dollar. All right, so we'll continue to take a watch out for that today. And then we've got always no exact time for Japan and the Bank of Japan, but they will have a monetary policy and rate statement coming out today. I guess nobody's expecting any type of rate change, but everybody's going to watch the tone coming out of the Bank of Japan to see what they would say in regards to forward guidance. So, and potential further stimulus. So we'll see what happens there. So that's the big news for today. So important day today. Should see some volatility in the market as we take a look at the US dollar, and it seems to be trying to catch some bids again at this support level, at this key level here. So we can see we've got some upward momentum coming off support again. So we'll see when that GDP data comes out how the US dollar reacts. So of course, if we say, hey, it's above forecast, you may see that initial move to the upside, and we'll see if it can maintain itself, maybe back up to resistance over the next couple of weeks or so. But hey, we'll see what happens. That's all we can do is wait and see. If we go over to trading economics, we can see that Germany consumer sentiment, right? Germany is important because it's the largest player in the Eurozone. So the consumer sentiment edge is higher. Okay, so rebounding off a all-time low in October. Okay, so a little positivity coming out of the Eurozone. We say that here ahead of the GDP numbers, say the U.S. economy is seeing rebounding in Q3. So we'll see what happens there. All right, and then UK retail sales recover in October. Yeah, so a little positive sentiment. So while we have Germany consumer sentiment edges higher, Italy, another player in the Eurozone, consumer confidence lowest since 2013. All right, so a little mix, but when you look at the largest player in Germany, the sentiment edged higher. All right, so any Any questions in regards to the fundamentals? The main thing is to pay attention to what's happening today in regards to that GDP data for the US and the rate hike for the euro. Okay, so again, for the euro, we know the 75 basis points is expected. Okay, ECB set to raise rates by 75 basis points, but it's all about the forward guidance and what's going to be said over. So again, said over the long term moving forward. So, you know, the game continues, the ebbs and flows. These are the things that creates the waves in the market. Okay, so let's go into the charts. We're at the end of the week, so I'll give you all an opportunity to place any pairs right up front that you want to take a look at before I dive into some of the setups that I want to go over. So give you guys a second in the chat to put any pairs that you want to take a look at, and we'll start off with those this morning. Okay. All right, so let's take a look. Let's start out with the dollar Swiss. Okay, especially since we have data coming out today. And let's dive into the daily. Right. So we saw the correction. Okay, there's the head and shoulders. We've got a long-term projection for a D extension way up at 107.35. Okay. So right now, right, that's the correction that we're seeing. The DXY saw that push down on the DXY back to support. So it's reflecting kind of exactly what's going on with the DXY. The DXY is finding support, and you can see where we've got a little bullish momentum here. Okay, the question is, and that GDP data will probably help us with that. Is it going to continue bullish here and get back above 99.46, or is it going to, if this is just a correction, is it going to continue down to support at 97.80? All right, so that's where I am with it right now. And right, so we got that break below, okay, and then we're trying to push above. So we'll see if it can maintain its momentum, because here on your 4 hour, that's the support level now, right? On the 4, see, right there. Like this, okay? So we're getting price to hold there. Okay. Still a game of support and resistance, right? So there. Now we're holding at this level, and we're back above 98.84. So what I would say, we got a stochastic in the buy zone. So if the dollar continues to catch bids, especially with the GDP data, if it comes in, you know, above forecast, we stay above 98.84 and say long, right? Back to $1, right? Or to this level here. What is this? That's $1 right on the nose. So we'll put that there. Okay. So that's where we are on the dollar Swiss. Cassandra.
It also looks like that's a bounce. It's coming off of the 61.618 as well.
Where do you have your fibs drawn?
Okay, let's see. I'm coming off of that last low around September 13th.
Right here?
Yes. Yeah, that's it, I think. See.
Okay. Okay. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. Right. You caught the impulse move to the upside and the pullback. All right. I can dig it. Nice. I can roll with that. That gives you good confluence, right?
Yes.
Great work. Great work. When it got choppy, I just used my daily play and then just work support and resistance from that point. But that's a nice impulse move to the upside in the correction. So That definitely, that fib gives you extra confluence, right? It goes right in line with past resistance becoming future support at that level. And we may be getting that U-turn, right? And we've got a stochastic in the buy zone. Okay. So I can roll with that, placing that fib there. Okay. Like so. There we go. If we look at our daily, we can see, right? We're approaching being oversold too. So it's just a matter of if it wants to continue to catch bids to the upside. All right. So I am definitely still bullish the dollar. So we'll continue to see. So great work. Any questions? Your C, right? Look. A, B, C, D. So your C becomes your A and your D becomes your B. Close, almost got it. All right. Who asked that? Carolyn? All right.
Okay,
So there we
Mary.
are. Hey, what's up,
Mary
Mary?
here. Hi.
Mhm.
Yeah. I had a more conservative trend line, so my trend line is broken, but I was still waiting.
You had
More conservative. Aggressive. Sorry. Aggressive.
Aggressive. So you had an inner trend line. Were you off the 15?
No,
or you
on
just
the
run it,
four.
or you just
On
running
the
it
four.
here
On the four. Yeah.
on a 4 like that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. We're catching bids on a dollar right now, mounting up. You know, so yeah, that GDP number is going to be interesting because if you look at the dollar CAD, I started playing entries on that yesterday. You can see it's catching a bid too off this 135 level, this double bottom. You see it? There, how that's starting to push long too off the swing. So it's going to be interesting leading up to that report to see how it comes through. So the expectation is seen that the economy is seen as rebounding in Q3. So 2.4%. The projection is what was it again? 2.3. So if we get that to creep up an edge higher, then that US dollar, right? That DXY, that level that we're seeing, probably hold, and we'll see the dollar catch bids to the upside again. Right. So you guys see how all this kind of falls in line and how it's moving. So this is going to be interesting this morning and see how this goes. All right. So we look at the might as well take a look at the dollar yen real quick to see what we're doing. It's been a little bit crazy. So here we are at this level. Okay. You can just see how it's stalling at that 145. Okay. And then right here on this 4, we're at this 382. Okay. So it'll be interesting to see if we catch momentum off that positive data today. Okay. So here you got a double bottom at this 382. Okay. Where we're getting a reaction. Okay. Fascinating. Yeah, in the UCAT, me too. I took it out there off that 135 level yesterday too. And it started, it collapsed after the CAD news came through below expectations on the rate hike, but then it gave us a move to the upside, and then it came down and just consolidated for most of the day yesterday. But it's catching bids to the upside again this morning, so we'll see if it can sustain it. So we shall see. but that's where we are. So those are some pairs to watch out for. So you can see here on your 5, right, how it's starting to catch those bids. So how you can do this, right? If you're looking to say, hey, this could potentially be bullish, like so, right? You see how we're already moving up off the 5-minute. Oops. Like so. Okay. So we know we've got support there. Okay. And there's your move to the upside. See? Like that. So we look for, this is either going to continue from here, all right, if it's starting to catch really good momentum, or you may see that check back, right, to the lows. Kind of hard to tell when you get price action moves ahead of major data, so we'll see. But the dollar is seeming to get a little bit of a push in the early hours this morning here. So that's how you play that. You can play that on the lower time frame. Once you get to a level like this is a double bottom. It's at a 382. If you want to play that, then this is what you look for. So you know, right, we've got support there from before. It actually broke it and then pushed back up above it, right? What would be support here? Okay. So you already have a low of support on your 5. This. Okay. And now there's the swing. All right. So that's how you catch smaller plays. Any questions? No? All right. Okay. So that's that. I was about to say the second green candle. Carolyn, what time frame? This one here? Yes. Okay. Yeah, we don't have a close yet though, right? It's not closed. We don't have a, when you're looking at it from a 4-hour, we don't have a trend line break or anything yet. And this actually isn't a swing low, right? So we got 2 to the left. This is our center candle low. So if that holds on your 4-hour, from a 4-hour perspective, right, you would need another 4-hour candle, preferably bullish, right, to break. Now, if you get something, there are times where I'll get a little bit more aggressive and take a trade. So if this were to become a major bullish engulfing candle, engulf my previous 3 candles or 4 candles, right, and close strong, right, then you look at the possibility and break trend line. Then you look at the possibility to say, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and take that, right? I'm gonna go ahead and take a shot on that, right? But typically we're waiting for this here, okay, right? We want to see, you know, a second bullish candle, so to speak, right? That'll give us a close, okay, something like that. Okay, if you're playing that off the 4, okay, if that's your time frame that you want to enter on, that's typically what you're looking for, right? If you're saying, hey, you know, in my trade plan, my buy zone is typically in the green here, 61.8 and lower, but if I get decent structure, right, at a 382, and I get, you know, a formation to set up, a pattern to set up like a double bottom, then I'm willing to take a shot at that if everything else aligns, right? But you want to make sure that you have that in your trade plan, if that's your thing, because you don't want to be inconsistent with that. You don't want to be inconsistent, because then that's going to give you inconsistent results. So you have to have that drawn up, what your caveats are. Okay, or I will take a trade off of 382 or a 50% if these things occur. Okay, so you want to be very, very systematic in your approach to the market. Otherwise, this is not your play, right? This is your play in this zone. And if this takes off from here, then you just missed that trade. But that's why we look at all pairs, because there's always something happening. Okay, so that's how you do that. Sell on $1 yen. It's been selling off on a correction to this point, right? There's your 80-20, right? Back down. See how it came into this level? So we're in an up retracement zone. So this has sold off on a correction, right? If I'm moving up in the ABCD wave, the correction is going to be down. So it has been selling off to this point, but it's starting to stabilize a little bit at this 382 level. Okay. Now, if you don't have any rules drawn to where you would take a trade off of a 382, then you want to see it continue to sell off into your zone, and then look to get long, right? And then look to get long, right? I know where we are on this daily, but this is the yen. If it doesn't break that level, if it holds that level, then this may continue up, right? We know where we would like to see it fall based on this 80-20 here, but if it doesn't give us that, it's gonna continue up. You can see how it's moved through, right, an entire cycle in regards to the momentum, and you see how it's heading back towards being oversold, and it still hasn't broken close below that level. You see how we've got it where price held up right here, past resistance becoming future support. It's finding support at this 145.89 level. Okay, so if you're thinking a continued sell, you want to see this level broken, right? So it made a good swing. It's moved down, right, off the high. Okay, 600 pips. Okay, off the high to get back to this level. All right, but it still hasn't cracked that level. Okay, so we've got to respect that until the market tells us otherwise. Okay, we've got Bank of Japan data. Okay, so here this evening we've got US data before that. Okay, so this could be a tricky one, right? So has this been a 5-minute play to the upside? Absolutely it has, right? Absolutely it has. Is there a possibility for this to come back and retest this level? Yeah. And if it holds again, right, then maybe you play this on the shorter term, right, to the upside. Okay. Right. But we know, as of right now, the DXY is holding that support. We got bids to the upside. We don't know if that's going to be temporary yet. All right, we need a catalyst. All right. But this is where we are right now at 6:54 a.m. This is what the market is doing. Questions? Okay. If it's not in your trade plan to do anything at this level, you're not trading it anyway. So if it does continue to sell off, we're all good, right? All right, let's take a look at the pound dollar. Right, so we got it coming off the lows, right? Finding some momentum, right? We know the DXY pushed back down to support. Pounds catching bids to the upside. Okay, so we're coming into this level here. right? Where we can see it on the correction, right into this zone. It's broken above it now. All right, so let's continue to move down through the charts on a daily. All right. See what we're doing. Okay. This guy hit. I don't know why another fib never came up on that, but that's okay. So the extension got hit. We're at the lows. So, all right, that was my C on this last play. There. Okay. Now we're pushing up. Down retracement zone. There we are. So if we come down to the 4, we can see where we pushed high in the zone here. Okay. Got an 8-6 pullback. Okay, almost to the level where we're double topping. Let's see what happens with the data. See what happens with the US GDP data. See if we get momentum back to the downside on this. Okay. So we're high in the zone. It stalled for a while. It broke higher. Okay. So let's see if we can get that price to fall. All right. See if we can get some momentum for the dollar to the downside. Okay. That's where we are. If not, right, the game becomes simple. If not, we start to break through these levels, take out our A, and then it's looking like it's gonna continue to the upside, maybe to 123. Okay, but that's where we are. We're high in the zone. If it continues to fall, if it falls from here, I have no issue with that. All right, so we've got an 8-6 pullback now. We adjust our TP here. Okay. All right. Okay. You can get more aggressive, right? For a line there, either here on your lower time frames, like that. Okay. There. Trend line break, you can wait and hold 114.34 back below and then close below that. All right. Short. Carolyn, no. Not necessarily all the time. No. Nope. At times, but not all the time. Yeah. Randy, you looking for a break of the daily support to enter? That's a good plan. That's a good plan there, for sure. All right, so that's where we are on the pound dollar, right? Crazy retracement, sitting high in the zone. See if we can get it to turn over. If not, we got our stop above the A, we get stopped out. All right, if you're playing that like that. If you're not in it, wait until you get some more confirmation to the downside. All right. Any other questions? Okay. Pound dollar, Euro USD. Take a look at what we got going on here. All right, let's take a look at this daily. Okay, get that out of there now. We didn't hold. All right, so here's where we are. We're back to, we got a 382 pullback. We're back to being overbought. Okay, again, ahead of US data, right? GDP data. Okay, so that could create a situation where this moves back down. The euro, right? I'm kind of hands off of this one because you got key data coming out for both. So the euro, right? It depends on how much 75 basis points have been already priced in ahead of ahead of the news. Then it's going to come down to the forward guidance from President Lagarde and the ECB in regards to what she says as it relates to a pathway forward. Okay, on that. So kind of hands off of this one to see how the market reacts. This is not a day that I want to trade the euro necessarily. I can wait for it to push down, and if it's gonna start making its way back short, right? We're in the key zone here, of course. Okay, we're in our sweet spot. But I've got news, right? We've got news. So you can wait, because if it starts to fall and continue its descent to the downside, then we've got a weekly D extension here, okay, that it'll come into first, and then we've got a 4-hour D extension that's beyond that. So it's got a ways. So I've got time, right, to let that push, right, and then give me a new high price to get in. So I'm in no rush on a Euro USD on a day where we have strong fundamentals for both. Okay, but I'm still, you know, until that dollar breaks that support, you know, the DXY, and the Fed makes any type of pivot. Yes, the dollar is going to have his weeks, days where it corrects, but I'm still long the dollar. I'm still long the dollar, which leads me to be short the Euro USD. Okay. Questions on that? Take that as a no. Next, so we wanted to look at oil. Okay. Let's see. So, all right, on my daily, I've got an 80-20 coming down off the highs in the swing. Okay, we've been pushing down. It's a beautiful move. Okay, so we're looking at here. You can see it from your daily chart, where you got potential crown reversal here starting to happen. Okay, bang. All right, 80-20. We had a shallow retracement less than 38%. We pushed down, broke the B boundary. We stalled right on the nose at daily support at 76.15, and our 80-20 zone at the 127, and we've been pushing up. Okay, so now we're back bullish. So we'll see if it continues to catch bids to the upside. All right, we'll see. Here's the same thing on your 4. It's an upward swing. Oil's been ranging, then it breaks a level, then it ranges again. So we'll see if we can get the continued bullish momentum to the upside, but we're at 88. So oil level by level at times, right? We break this 88 and we head to 90. Okay, lot of back and forth with oil right now. Okay, so this is what I have on the 1. There's that crown, zooming in on it. And then these are the fibs running off that right tip. Okay. Like so. Questions on oil?
One quick question. So
Sure.
since this is an 80-20, you're looking for this to come back down?
We're right here?
Yes.
On this one? Yeah, good. I mean, it's just riding away, right? So if this is the right tip of my crown and it's going to move up, this is just the fib that I had drawn coming out of that consolidation. So it may break. It may break and move incorrect, right? But could just continue to move up from there. So you may catch a wave of correction off 88 and then a move back up, right? So we'll see how that plays out. Because what you ultimately have here, right? I just wanted to see how the path was going. Is you have where it consolidated, right? It ranged at this level and then it broke out. You see that?
Yes.
So it's just a matter, right? If it wants to move in waves, okay. So maybe you get a correction off of the 88 before 88.38 before it moves up. Maybe you don't. Right? Maybe it pushes up to 90 and then comes back down. I can't. It's hard to predict that what it may do, right? But coming out of that consolidation, how it had these sub fibs drawn, right? That's what it looks like. So it's just a matter of it wants to correct here back down, and then it might not. You know, oil can get explosive. It's so fundamentally driven. That's why it can be challenging at times. So you might not, right? We know it's three things that happen, right? Three things that happen. You get that shallow retracement and that move up, and back down, right? And then we know, hey, there are times when it doesn't give us anything at all in the form of a correction, right? Especially oil and gold, it could just get going, and if it catches bids, it's just gone, right? Sometimes it doesn't move, you know, right? If you're in profit, secure the bag, for sure, for sure. So that, you know, you never know with gold, you know, or oil. It just, once they get going, they get going. And then they have those periods where they do absolutely nothing. Joy, you said you missed your gold entry. Yeah, you know, when it happens with those commodities, they really go. So we shall see. How long should you wait for the correction? I don't know in regards to timing. What do you mean to determine what, whether or not you're gonna take the trade? I don't really have a time limit on waiting. It's either when it gets to my zone, if I want to get long, I get long. If it doesn't, I don't. You know, that all comes down to your trade plan, Marcos. Right. So if I'm looking, if my trade idea is I want to wait for a correction and a pullback, say to 85.72, that could take 2 weeks if it wants to. Right? It could take 2 weeks. If it does, at that point, that's when I'll look to get in on it. Right? Maybe I set an alarm, right, on my horizontal here to say, hey, when it gets back to that level, I'll look to take it. And if it never gets there, well, my trade idea, my trade plan didn't come to fruition. So is on to the next move. Right? But I'm not gonna, if my trade plan and my rules say that I'm only looking to take longs in this zone or at these levels, then that's what I have to abide by. So if it breaks this level here, okay, if it breaks this level here and retest and continue, that's not my play. That's not my play. That could be your play, but that's not my play. Okay. But what could be my play is, if it does that, is once it gets to this 90 and it lines up with this 80-20 zone here, this 127, I know I don't have a 382. I may be looking for oil to correct. I may play that counter trend back to that level, right? If I'm up to it, if I want to take that move, but I'm not going to buy it, right? I'm not going to buy it. There's some traders who trade break and retest. So maybe they take a break and a retest at 88. If it holds, they take it to 90. So it all comes down to your trade plan. Do I think it's easier to sell trades versus a long? No, I don't think anything's easy. I don't think anything's easy. Right? I think it's just, I don't know. It's just when it hits my zone, I take it. You know. Now, does it seem at times when you trade corrections, because that's a correction that you're trading, right? Does it seem like, oh, it moves to the targets a little bit faster when trading those corrections, those B2Cs and those 80-20 moves, right? Yeah, right. So in regards to momentum, right, as opposed to taking a C to D move like that, yeah, it seems like the corrections at times move faster, right, to their targets than that C to D with the trend. Okay, so it's just a counter trend move versus a trend move. So sometimes it seems like the speed, but that could be because of the ATR in the pair as well too. So yeah, good question. Good question. All right, y'all have lots of good questions this morning. But yeah, so it's not a timing thing really. It's not when I'm swing trading. All right, so that is oil. We had a request for the pound Aussie. All right. Okay. So we know that pound's been moving pretty good. Okay, we got a right. You see the zone here, right? That was just clean, right? That's why we do top down. Okay, that's clean. That's a clean move out of that zone. Okay, so we know that the pound's been showing some strength. Got a little crazy because of the intervention thing. Still a little wacky, but here we are. Okay. When we look at this, how choppy it's been, so long off that support, it's been pushing up, and we're right in the 80-20 zone. Okay, and it's just dancing, it's just ranging. Okay, it's just ranging. We got the initial push down, so maybe we're moving back up to test this 181 level. Okay, maybe that's the case. Maybe price holds there, double tops at this zone. Okay, maybe it moves. Right, then comes back down if it holds at that level. All right, we know commodities got a little bit of a boost lately, a little bit of a rally in commodities, you know, metals and things like that, which bode well for Australia. But we know the pound's getting a little boost too. All right, things starting to, at least it seems to be stabilizing a little bit, but they still got a lot they got to dig out of. Energy crisis, all types of stuff, you know, going on in the UK. Inflation. So we'll see. But this is the move up that's been going on. You can see it's getting a little bit, right, a little bit shaky. It's ranging around this level. Okay, so we'll see. We'll see if it can work its way back, okay, to this 181 level potentially. Okay, we'll see. All right, but we've got a 50% pullback, and it's been pushing long, right, off that level, and now we're just ranging. We need price to break out in one direction or the other. Okay, so we can see here off a sub fib running, right? You see, so maybe we continue to catch bids to the upside on the pound. Pound's been a weird one ever since the whole mess from the prime minister and their financial plan, and then the Bank of England having to step in. It's been wild. So we'll see. We'll see if it can continue that bullish momentum. Besides the pound dollar, I haven't really played a lot of the pound pairs. Yeah, but that's where we are. So right now, that's looking long. You know, right now, real time, that's looking like it's trying to push long. We'll see if we can get back to 181.94. That's all I got on that. What we have on the 5. Take that out. Let's just see how choppy that is. Right? But we could be, right? So if I'm watching this off my 5, it was gonna do that. So here. Right. You see if we can start breaking through some levels. It's super choppy. So you see how that's whipping around. See how crazy that is. And so we would have to See, right? If we can get beyond, start to get beyond these levels and move along. Okay. All right. Or don't trade it at all. We'll see. We'll see. All right. See that? We need a breakout. Okay. We need that to break out. That's on the 5. Questions? All right. All right. So anybody put any other request in the chat? Nope. I think that was it. Okay. Let me give me 1 second, everybody. Give me 1 second. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. I want to take a look at see what's going on this move. So we're still trying to get there, right? So this was dancing around a little bit. So we're below trend line on the Aussie Swiss. All right, see if we can continue that momentum to the downside. But you see how, right, where we get on high alert when we see price reach that zone, this 118, 127 zone after a shallow retracement. You see how, look at how the momentum was moving long, okay? And then look how it started to move sideways, okay? See how it reacts at that level? And now we're trying to see if it can maintain this momentum to the downside. Anybody holding short on that Aussie Swiss?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Awesome. See how it plays out. Randy, US30 simple is DJIA. Yep, that's it. Is that on we had a question on that. Okay. Yep. DJIA, Dow Jones Industrial Average. That's your US30.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Joe, you brought your stop loss in too soon. Yeah, I always remember, right? That you're on a 5-minute chart too. You know, it's a smaller move compared to the bigger ones that we play, right? Same approach. Okay. What you can do sometimes, what I'll do is like on these 5-minute setups, if I just want to play like these 80-20 plays, then I'll just go in and I'll put my my limit in here. So say we've got a new AB boundary, I'll put my limit in right in between that zone. Okay. And then I'll just put my stop right here at the extension. All right. Because I know if it hits that, the game is over anyway. Right.
Well,
then
I was in it 2 days prior, and
okay.
I forgot to calculate in my my fees, so that's the reason why. So already, yeah.
Okay.
And I forgot about that, my swap fee, so I didn't put that into calculation, and I brought it in too soon, and it just happened this morning because I had did it last night.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. It's all good. It's all good. So who are you using? Oanda or Forex.com?
This was on my KLT.
Oh,
Yeah,
KLT.
so
Okay.
on KLT, they got commissions and they got swap. And I was only looking at my commissions because I was on my iPad, so I didn't see the swap.
Okay. Cool deal. I got you
Yeah.
there. So, all right. All right. It's all good. All right. So it's moving. It's slow, but it's the Aussie Swiss, so it's all good. He's trying to find his way. But it's moving down. It's moving down. So if you go through a lot of them, if you're looking at your 5-minute subs, you'll see, right? It moves the same way. Okay, so that swung off the B boundary, right? That's just right away. That was quick, right? Not a lot there on that one. That one didn't hit the 80-20 zone, right? It's just straight B to C and push down on that one there. Not the Aussie, and there's another one. It's the Aussie NCD. Some of these turn right over, so you can see it. See here, when you get that AB boundary, you see that how that just reversed out, right? We didn't get up around that 8. We didn't get an 80-20 on that one, but you see how it just corrected. AB boundary correction, okay, to the downside. All right, but look, okay, there was the Aussie NZD on the 4. See how it pushed down in the zone, and then we got the reaction back to the upside, right? Almost closed in on that 382. Okay, how we drew it up. Okay, so that may catch another run long, right? Here's the 1. You see how the waves just get smaller? You see the plays? So it all just depends on what time frame you want to play it on. Okay. You have to give yourself time to discover that, but it moves. Okay. Here's your 15-minute off the swing. See, look, it pulled back and it came down. Now it's trying to move again. I don't know if it'll hold above that 111 on the Aussie NZD. Okay. But give yourself time to discover what time frames you like trading on. Okay. We know, right? We had the monster move on this off the swing. See how many different setups you have in one pair, right? Understanding the sequence and how it works, right? You all remember when we this high here to get short? It's a major move. Yeah, that came down off the highs, right? Over 400 pips. And now we know we had a potential for a crown. So that move up. So look, we move down, right? On your lower time frames, that's represented by what? ABCD waves. Okay. And now we've got a correction. And that's what you're seeing here, right? That correction. After that huge move to the downside. Okay. See? The correction. That's what it looks like on the 1. Questions? No? Okay. Aussie dollar 5. Okay. See how we pushed up? See how we came down? We didn't quite get there. It pushed up to that 118, 127 zone and look, found its way back. Found its way back out of the zone. Okay, so look. It does the same thing no matter what the time frame. Okay. That's why we do it. Okay. So we looked at the Euro USD, right? That one just swung off the B boundary, okay, and pushed down. But you see how it seeks out that 382? So, all right, 50 pips or so off the B boundary. Okay. So that's why we played two areas, right? When we draw out the diagrams, you look, you go through the training, for counter trend here, and you have to make the determination of whether you want to play those. Some people do, some people don't. Okay, so you got it here. Okay. B to C, okay. Back to the 382, or here. Okay. 118, 127 zone, back to the 382. Okay. We call those our trading sweet spots. Okay. And then if you're looking to trade with the trend, in this case, to get long, right, this is your sweet spot, right? They already have it. The smart fibs do it for you, right? It maps it out. Okay. Okay. To get long. 3 areas that we trade. That's it. Any questions on that? No matter what time frame, right? So it becomes a very, very, very simple process. What are the 3 areas? Counter trend, B to C, to at least the 382. Okay. We got that? Yes, no? Okay. Counter trend, shallow retracement, less than a 382. We good?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Because think about it. Okay. Whenever I get to an extension, the game begins again. Right? So the game starts all over again. And this now is my A. And this now is my B. We trade the same zone. Right? That's it. That's it. Over and over and over again. All right. So we just had a fib here that we say, hey, 20% of the time, the momentum is going to be so strong that you get an AB boundary. A, B, shallow, 23%. And the momentum is so strong, buyers had control, no hardly any correction. And we go straight to the D. That's okay. Because our C became our new A, our D became our new B, and now we look for what? A C. And your C is your lowest point within your AB boundary. AB boundary is concrete, that's your foundation. And then the price action works itself out from there. Those are the zones. That's it. You're welcome. That's all we're doing. I know it's not super exciting. We don't have a lot of things on our chart, a lot of indicators, a lot of, but that's the way the market moves. Right? This is the way it moves. It's not something we made up. Just look back. Right? Questions before we wrap things up?
Benny, good morning, bro.
Brian, what's going on?
Not too much, man. How are you?
Doing great, man. Doing great. How you doing?
Awesome. I'm doing well, man. Great session this morning.
Appreciate it.
First, I see some new names in the chat, so I want to welcome our new folks, new members. We're glad to have you. I'm going to give you my new member spiel, but also to some members that have been with us a while that may need to hear this again. It's imperative that you go through the training in your back office. Go through that training in the order in which we place the videos. We were very strategic in regards to how we develop this community, right? And we're very strategic in regards to how we structured those videos, right? So it's imperative that you go through the training video by video by video so that you understand the foundation of the methodology that we teach and why we teach it the way that we do, right? Each step, one by one. It's also imperative that you do the homework assignments at the end of the videos, right? Because not only do you need to learn the information, but you also need to implement the information, right? You need to practice. You need to do it. So if you got to start a TradingView account, or if you need to start a Smart Trader account, do so, right? So that you can practice what you're learning, right? Those two things are the first two things that are extremely, extremely, extremely important, right? Everything that you saw Benny go through this morning is in that training, right? And we break it down into very, very deep detail, right? So it's extremely important that you go through those videos one by one by one. Don't leave the video until you understand and you're able to implement what is there. The questions that you will have after you watch those videos, bring those questions then to the live session, right? To help make the connection that you're going to need help making. And that's okay. But you need to watch the videos first so that you have an understanding of what we're talking about, or a brief understanding of what we're talking about. And then you can ask the questions that come from those videos, right? And then you can go back and practice again and watch the video a second, a third, a fourth time if need be, until you're able to implement that thing, right? Then show up to the session and ask more questions that come about, right? The other thing is, don't compare your process to anyone else's, right? Your process is your process, your time is your time, right? No one has experienced your life the way that you have. So therefore, your time, the time that it takes you to learn this skill, that's okay. Take your time to learn this skill for you. Don't rush, don't compare your journey to anyone else's. Perfection doesn't exist. You will lose trades. We can't predict the market, right? So nothing is perfect. There's not a perfect entry. There's not a perfect trade, right? We walk through a process of teaching you how to develop a trading plan, right? We give you the foundational principles, and then we give you thoughts and questions to think about to develop the trading plan, right? It's imperative that you do so that you have rules to follow, that you can start to follow those consistently so that you can then start to have consistent results. You can't have consistent results if you don't have a consistent process, right? The methodology that we teach, we don't change it. It'll be the same regardless of the time frame, the same regardless of the asset class. You can go trade soybeans if you want to, use the same methodology, right? You can go trade live cattle if you wanted to. It's the same methodology. Same with your indices and everything, right? The process that we teach does not change. Out in the world, you're gonna see 8,000 different processes with 76 indicators and using ketchup and mustard, right? We don't teach that. Those things also change based on the season and based on the asset class, right? We want to break this thing down in a way that once you understand it, we're able to simplify it for you so that you don't have to think about a ton of different variables, right? So take your time and go through the training, right? We also aren't going to tell you that you're going to get rich tomorrow. So if that's what you're looking for, you're not going to get that from us. We're going to tell you that this takes time, effort, and energy to learn this skill to then be able to implement it on a consistent basis. It also is going to take you learning yourself, being able to manage yourself and your emotions, which where the mindset piece comes in on Monday mornings. All right. Last thing is, we don't give signals. We help you understand the thought process behind the market so that when we do give you a new AB boundary, or when a new AB boundary pops up on your screen, you know the thought process to go through to make the decision on if this trade meets your rules or not. Taking signals doesn't allow you to be independent. We want to teach you guys how to be independent, consistently profitable traders. That's our goal. That's our mission. The way that we structure the community, we did it for that reason. Right? Community is here for you. We got folks that have been with us for a year and a half now, since we started this. You can utilize them as partners, right? But it's not for them to be additional mentors for you, right? The group as a whole is the mentorship, right? So bring your questions here. You can use partners to help you go through your process, and you guys can hold each other accountable, right? But the mentorship is the organization, the process, the training, these live sessions, right? So it's imperative that you guys follow those steps, right? So that you can understand the thought process, so that you can then put in the guardrails that you need to and the rules that you need to, so that you can be consistently profitable traders. So we appreciate you guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the family. We're glad to have you. Now it's time to actually get to work. So appreciate you, bro.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. Much appreciated always. Great message. Hey, flat out excited for all of our new members. Welcome. Look forward to seeing your positive progress. But with that being said, we will see all of you tonight who can make it 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with my awesome partner, Mr. Ryan Carthage. Have a great day, everybody.